A zombie mother was walking with her baby through an abandoned building crowded with zombies. As she moves, a group of survivors carefully entered the area, quietly making their way between the undead. Suddenly, one of them noticed the zombie mother and shouted. Within seconds, the soldiers raised their weapons and started shooting. The story begins with Melanie locked inside a small room. Suddenly, she hears soldiers arriving outside. Before they enter, Melanie quietly chains herself to a wheelchair and waits calmly. A moment later, two soldiers walk into the room. One of them tightly straps Melanie to the wheelchair with belts. After that, they take her outside. There we see several other children being moved through the hallways as well. Soon, all the children are taken into a classroom. We learn that this place is actually a military base where soldiers are stationed, and these strange children are being kept under heavy security. Inside the classroom, a teacher begins teaching them normally. Among all the students, Melanie is the smartest one. The teacher clearly likes her the most and treats her differently from the others. After the class ends, the children are once again taken back to their separate rooms. At first, everything about them seems normal. But later that night, something disturbing happens. Instead of regular food, the children are served bowls full of worms. Shockingly, they happily eat them without hesitation. Now it becomes clear that these children are not ordinary at all. The next day, the teacher gives everyone an assignment. She asks the children who would like to share their personal story. Melanie quickly raises her hand and begins telling hers. The teacher listens carefully and becomes very impressed. Because Melanie is her favorite student, the teacher believes there is something truly special about her. She walks closer and gently touches Melanie's head. But at that exact moment, a sergeant suddenly storms into the classroom. He looks furious.
No! No fucking way, no!
He immediately asks the teacher if she touched Melanie. The teacher calmly explains that she only touched her head. The sergeant angrily warns her that she has no idea how dangerous Melanie really is. To prove his point, he shows her something terrifying. The sergeant had been using a special cream on his hands which hides human scent from the children. He wipes some of the cream away and moves his bare hand close to one of the kids. Instantly, the child begins breathing heavily. His teeth start shaking violently, and it looks like he is ready to attack and eat the sergeant. Within seconds, all the other children react the same way. The sergeant quickly reapplies the cream, and immediately the children calm down again. A little later, the children are returned to their rooms once more. That same night, the teacher walks through the children's section and notices something strange. Melanie is still tied to her wheelchair. The soldier who restrained her earlier never returned to untie her. The teacher calls for help, but nobody answers. Feeling sorry for Melanie, she enters the room and begins removing the restraint herself. But while untying her, Melanie suddenly starts reacting strangely to the teacher's smell. She struggles desperately to control herself. Melanie repeatedly begs the teacher to leave because she knows something bad is about to happen. Unfortunately, she loses control. Melanie suddenly attacks the teacher. The teacher quickly escapes the room and slams the door shut. She hurriedly takes out the special cream and spreads it across her body and face so Melanie can no longer smell her. The next day, the sergeant comes for Melanie again. But this time, instead of taking her to class, he takes her outside the building. We now see a massive fence surrounding the base. On the other side stand countless zombies called hungries. Soldiers continuously shoot at them to keep them away. Now the truth about the world is finally revealed. A deadly parasitic fungus has spread across Earth. Anyone infected loses their mind completely and becomes a violent creature that attacks humans and spreads the infection through bites. Soon, Melanie is taken into a laboratory. Inside, she notices a jar containing the preserved brain of a young child. Written on the jar is the number 3. Melanie immediately recognizes him as one of her classmates who had suddenly disappeared days earlier. At that moment, she realizes terrible experiments were performed on him until he died. The doctors then inject Melanie with a sleeping drug. She becomes terrified because she understands that she is about to suffer the same fate. Just then, the teacher suddenly arrives. She grabs a gas cylinder and threatens the doctor, warning her not to harm Melanie. However, soldiers quickly rush in and capture the teacher. The doctor tries explaining herself. She says she has done these experiments many times because she is desperately trying to create a vaccine that could save humanity. She cannot understand why the teacher refuses to accept this sacrifice. The soldiers drag the teacher away, but suddenly, complete chaos erupts inside the base. One of the zombies attacks the doctor's assistant and fights him. The infection spreads immediately. The doctor panics and runs away. Meanwhile, Melanie is still tied to the operating table. Strangely, the zombies completely ignore her. Normally, infected creatures identify humans through smell. But Melanie is different. She is not fully human anymore. She belongs to a second generation of infected children who can still think and behave normally. Because of this, the zombies cannot recognize her scent. A little later, Melanie manages to free herself and escapes outside. Everywhere around her, soldiers are being attacked and killed by zombies. Gunfire fills the entire area during the chaos. Melanie notices her teacher still being held by two soldiers. As the teacher struggles, Melanie instantly rushes forward and bites both soldiers on their necks. After attacking them, she quickly calms down again. The teacher immediately grabs Melanie and holds her protectively. Just as nearby zombies move toward them, an army vehicle suddenly arrives. The teacher quickly climbs inside with Melanie. Inside the vehicle sits the same doctor who had been experimenting on the children. The zombies chase the vehicle for some time, but eventually the group escapes. Now inside the vehicle, the sergeant constantly points his gun at Melanie. He fears that if she bites anyone, they will become infected too. So the soldiers throw Melanie out of the vehicle and leave her sitting far away from them. But then the doctor explains something important. She says Melanie is extremely valuable because she may be the key to creating a cure for the infection. Hearing this, the sergeant captures Melanie again. This time, he straps her to a chair on top of the vehicle and places a mask over her face. After traveling for a while, the group stops near a river because they desperately need water. But suddenly, many zombies attack them there as well. One soldier gets bitten during the fight. The sergeant refuses to allow the infected man back inside the vehicle. After some time, the soldier fully transforms into a zombie. The survivors quickly try escaping from the area, but when they attempt to start their vehicle, it completely stops working. Now, they have no choice but to continue the journey on foot. Eventually, the group reaches London. By this point, everyone is exhausted and starving. The sergeant uses binoculars and spots many zombies standing completely still outside a food store. The group decides to carefully walk through them after covering themselves with a special cream that hides human scent. They also decide not to speak at all while passing through the zombies. Slowly and silently, they move through the middle of the motionless creatures and safely enter an abandoned building nearby. Once inside, Melanie is tied up again. The doctor sits in front of her, and Melanie finally asks who she truly is. Now the doctor finally reveals the truth. She explains that when the infection spread across the world, some pregnant women became infected too. The doctor explains that when the infection first spread across the world, some pregnant women were infected before giving birth. The children born from those mothers became completely different from normal zombies. These children were the second generation of the infection, just like Melanie. Unlike ordinary zombies, they could still think, learn, and control themselves. They looked human, but deep inside they were something entirely new. The doctor then tells Melanie that she is humanity's last hope. She believes a vaccine can only be created through her. That night, everyone rests inside the building. The next morning, they prepare to continue their journey. Downstairs, many zombies are lying motionless. Melanie suggests that they untie her because she can safely move through the zombies and lure them away. The doctor worries that Melanie may never return if they let her go. But Melanie promises that she will come back. She says she still wants to become normal. She wants to live like a human being. A little later, Melanie goes downstairs alone. She catches a dog nearby and drags it toward the building. As soon as the zombies smell the animal, they immediately begin chasing after it. The entire path becomes clear. Because of this, the others safely escape the building. Once outside, the group notices many dead zombie bodies scattered around the area. Thick roots are growing out from the corpses, and giant plants have formed over them. Massive vines now completely cover nearby buildings. The doctor explains that this is the next stage of the fungus life cycle. Inside those huge plants, dangerous seed pods are growing. She further explains that once those pods burst and release their spores into the air, humanity will finally come to an end. In simple words, no normal humans will survive after that. Nearby, the group discovers an old army laboratory powered by solar energy. Since the facility still works, they decide to stay there temporarily. But by now, everyone is starving. They desperately need food. One of the soldiers volunteers to go outside and search for supplies. Soon, he leaves the laboratory alone. Meanwhile, Melanie admits that she is hungry too. She says she can smell the humans around her, and the scent is making her lose control. Because of this, they untie her and allow her to go outside as well. Melanie quickly catches a bird and eats it immediately. Afterward, she follows a strange scent and enters a nearby house. Inside, she discovers several children hiding there. These children are also part of the next generation of zombies, just like her. A moment later, another child arrives and silently signals to the others. Immediately, all the children rush outside together. Melanie instantly realizes what is happening. Those children are going after the soldier who left to search for food. Melanie quickly runs back and warns the sergeant and the teacher that the soldier is in danger. On the other side, we see the soldier reaching a store filled with canned food. At first, he thinks he finally found supplies. But the moment he enters the shop, he realizes the zombie children are hiding inside. The children suddenly attack him from every direction and brutally kill him. Just then, the sergeant, the teacher, and Melanie arrive at the location. They immediately understand that the soldier walked straight into a trap planned by the strange children. When the teacher steps outside the store, she sees all the children standing nearby. These are the same children who killed the soldier. Melanie quickly warns everyone not to cross a certain line. Then she slowly walks toward the group herself. One of the children appears to be their leader. He is carrying a baseball bat. Soon, Melanie begins fighting with him. Even with handcuffs still attached to her wrists, Melanie cleverly traps the boy and restrains him. Then she grabs his baseball bat and kills him with it. After seeing this, the remaining children become frightened of Melanie. She safely leads the teacher and the sergeant back to the laboratory. But when they return, they discover something shocking. The doctor is now wearing a protective mask, and poisonous gas has spread throughout the entire lab. The doctor released the gas herself, so nobody could stop her plan. She is determined to remove Melanie's brain and create a cure from it. Even now, Melanie remains calm. She warns the doctor not to try anything foolish because she is faster than her. Melanie threatens to bite her if necessary. The doctor desperately tries convincing Melanie. She explains once again that sacrificing her could save all of humanity. She also reminds Melanie about the teacher. The doctor asks whether she really wants the teacher to eventually turn into a zombie too. Melanie quietly admits that she does not want that to happen. The doctor then tells her that saving humanity will require sacrifice. For a moment, Melanie becomes silent. Then she asks the doctor an important question. She asks whether she is truly alive. The doctor answers honestly and says yes, Melanie is alive. At that moment, Melanie finally understands the truth. Humanity is already near extinction. The future no longer belongs to normal humans. It belongs to beings like her. Soon the fungus spores will spread through the air and wipe out the remaining survivors. A completely new world is about to begin. After understanding this, Melanie decides not to sacrifice herself. She tells the doctor to stay safely inside the sealed laboratory, because it is the only secure place left. Then Melanie walks outside alone. The doctor follows after her, hoping to stop her. But on the way, the same zombie children appear once again and attack the doctor, killing her. Meanwhile, Melanie reaches the giant plants growing from the dead bodies. She stares at the huge seed pods hanging from the vines. Then she sets the plants on fire. Within moments, the seed pods burst open and dangerous spores spread everywhere through the air. A little later, the sergeant reaches Melanie. She explains that the teacher is still safe inside the sealed laboratory. But she also reveals that the entire outside world is now infected because she released the spores herself. The sergeant realizes he has already been infected by breathing the air. Knowing he will soon transform, he points his gun toward Melanie and says he wants to die as a human being. He begs her to kill him before he changes completely. Melanie agrees to honor his final wish. She takes the gun and shoots him dead. After this, we see the teacher alone inside the laboratory. She looks outside in shock as she realizes the world has changed forever. The next morning, Melanie returns to the laboratory with all the next generation zombie children standing behind her. Melanie has now become their leader. These children have never spoken with humans before. Now the teacher will educate them, just like she once taught Melanie. She will teach them how to speak, how to read, and how to live in this new world. And with that, the movie comes to an end. If you made it this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and comment below. Also, check out my other videos. Until next time, peace out.